And now, for a moment of clarity.
Donald Trump has spent since he realized that he finally is going to have to, deal with Kamala Harris on the ticket to drive her floor below his ceiling. Donald Trump has a ceiling of 47, 48%. Steve just showed it. 48 is high. He wasn't polling that when he was president. His goal is to drive her floor below that. And so the effective messaging of the negative messaging of a dystopian America under these Marxist Democrats like Kamala Harris, these leftists who want to turn your children into transgendered whatever, that's the messaging. And what is disheartening is a lot of Americans like that messaging. They are compelled to align with that messaging, because if they weren't, she would be running away with this race. So her challenge is trying to pull out those voters who do not agree with that messaging, but for some reason feel, well, my vote doesn't matter, or, they haven't engaged before, why should I engage now? That's the hard part for her. And so Donald Trump has been effective. Republicans have been effective of creating and splattering her with a lot of negative messaging that has brought her number down from the plus 50% that it was to now 48% in this race. And now this campaign is playing on Donald Trump's turf. And so I just want to say it's time to throw the conventional approaches off here. Maureen Dowd has a very good piece in the New York Times talking about it's time to flip this script here in the next 3 weeks. To play a little bit more hardball, because they're losing on the numbers game, because though her numbers are being pulled beneath his, and that's being reflected in what you're seeing right now, as Steve pointed out.
Trump's rhetoric keeps getting darker, it seems. He was asked this weekend if he thinks Election Day will be peaceful. Here's how he responded.
I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
Michael, your reaction to that?
I don't know what else to say to my fellow Americans. I really don't. I'm tired of trying to explain the obvious. I'm tired of trying to help you understand what the man is telling he's going to do. Yes, there will be problems on Election Day. Why? Because that's the setup play. They've been telling and telegraphing that they've got operatives already on the ground and boards of elections who prepared to disrupt this process. Folks, this is an end game for power, and for power by one man who wants to be a dictator. He's told us that. So, yeah, when he sits there and goes, the problem is from within, that's projection. He knows where the problem is. He is creating the problem. And so I don't know what else to say at this point. Y'all see the stuff. You had 4 years. You saw what happened. There was January 6th. You seem to care about that. Now you're like, oh, let's go back to that. That's okay. So I don't know what else the campaign can do. I don't know what kind of messaging is left. The American people have to decide what kind of country they want. Donald Trump is telling you what he's going to give you. So don't think come January of 2025 or 2026 or 7 that all of a sudden you're going to have, a chicken in your pot. Because likely your behind's going to be sitting in a concentration camp on your way to be pushed out of the country because you said something he didn't agree with. So I think we need to understand and contextualize. I get exactly the point about the negative messaging and how that works. But the clarity should be, we've seen this movie. We know how it ended on January 6th. So when he's sitting here telling you that the problem is from within, folks, it's not you and me. It's him. The problem is in the House, and it's not you, it's him. And so you have an opportunity on Election Day to rid the House of the problem. Do not keep it there. Do not allow it back in. Project 2025 is real. So I don't know what else to say on it at this point, because you got 3 weeks, and and Kamala Harris is tied 48% with that.
Catch Michael Steele on The Weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on MSNBC.